Yo, what is going on, everyone? I'm Phritzy, and this is me talking to myself. What is me talking to myself, you might ask? Well, it's kind of like, you might write in a journal or a diary, if you will. Or you keep it private to yourself. Well, this is the same thing, essentially, except I'm sharing it to the world. You, person from a different part of the world, could see this, or you could be from my city. That's fine. You can see this too. But the whole point is there's no script. There's no preconceived ideas. I just get in the mood, want to talk, want to share my thoughts, and I'm trying to figure out how to get past myself. What does that mean? I get in my own way. I self-sabotage, and I'm trying to figure out how to get beyond that. So at this point, I've decided to make 100 of these. This would be video number 14, and here we go. Unedited, raw, boom. So something you might notice, take a pause. I am now on my sixth. My Invisalign causes me to not do very well. Number 6, beer, a velvet fog. You might have noticed my last video. Oh dear, I just realized. Oh no, hold on. Thank you for staying with me. That was awkward. So this is kind of helps me bring up an interesting topic for you. I don't edit any of this, so that weird awkward thing where I walked away, you saw it. It was there. Nothing changed. What I needed to do, I got this fun idea. I like opening beer for the audience. I don't know why, but I like the sound, so maybe you like the sound. This sound is just my keys rattling. Church key. Yeah, anyway. 6 beer. I bought a 6-pack. So you might have watched my last video and you were like, this guy is dealing with burnout and he's sick. And he's wearing probably the same shirt. I am wearing the same shirt. So was he doing drinking? Who knows? But my wife thought it was a good idea. I'm blaming it all on my wife. No. She put the idea in my head. She's such a lovely wife. She said, Phil, do you want to get a beer? And I was like, I shouldn't. So eventually I did. And so I was like, yeah, let's make another video. I actually made a video before this one even, which was kind of an experimental video where the idea is to have somebody play a video game, whether myself or somebody else. In this case, it was my wife, and she was playing Tetris, and I just talk. I was wondering maybe I could do it with this series, but then as I was talking within the first minute, I was like, no, this is its own thing. This is its own beast, my friends. Because I'm basically giving commentary on the game, not so much my life. But it's a lot of fun. I was entertained by the process of that. The process. Who cares? So, something I have had on my mind quite a bit. Oh, actually, over a lot of the past few months. I follow this one podcast. His guy's name is Jocko Willink, I want to say is his last name. Anyway, really interesting podcast. The dude is a retired Navy SEAL. Which is funny, I'm not particularly interested in military anything. I just don't care. But The dude is fascinating. Now, why is the dude fascinating? Sorry, I'm bumping the side of the mic thing with my beer. That's what happens. I drink a little bit and I make noise. Just deal with it. So the guy's name is Jocko, and he's the Navy SEAL, retired Navy SEAL. And he came out with this book years ago called Extreme Ownership. And I guess that's kind of what got me interested in this dude. And the idea of extreme ownership is, as kind of it's spelled out, is you taking ownership of absolutely everything. Even things that you think are out of your control, you're just saying, no, it's me. And why did that seem appealing? Well, for a long time, still do, I feel like so many things in my life kind of spiral out of control. And I feel like I'm just some victim kind of. I don't like the idea of being a victim, but I feel like I act like a victim in a lot of situations, and I don't want to be. You know? But it's like, you ever gone down a water slide and you have no control over how that's going? It's the water's taking you. The idea of extreme ownership is, no matter how shitty the situation, no matter how insane and seemingly out of control the situation is, so many other variables, so many other players influencing the situation, if you take ownership, you actually have control. And I think that's tough. Now, this guy Jocko, he explains why it's tough. He says because it takes a hit on your ego, because you're saying, I'm at fault. So, say at work, things fall apart. Some people are fumbling around. You're getting angry. Maybe your boss is being a dumbass. It's like, God damn it, why are you being this way? Again, you're being the victim to the whole situation. And it's like, no, I am responsible for the whole thing. Again, that might sound ridiculous, but if you say you're responsible, that means you're kind of taking control of even what's happening with your boss. Now, I don't mean undermining your boss or trying to create a antagonistic relationship with your boss, but I just mean like looking for moments, looking for those tiny little specks where you can just take control and be like, I could do better in this situation, you know, because I find myself, I get angry when I have a boss who's like, oh, so fucking dumb, or like, you know, a coworker who's like fumbling around, or dealing with a client customer and they're being frustrating, that is. But if I can reflect and go, I could have done better. It was me that could have made that situation better. You know, you hear that phrase, hindsight is 2020. Yeah, hindsight is 2020. And it's like, yes, so then apply it to the next situation. Okay, so maybe you're a victim in some situation. You're thrown out of whack and you have no idea what's going on. Take that time for yourself and go, okay, how can I make tomorrow's situation better? Because I suspect the same type of thing is going to happen. So I've been trying to apply that a lot. In terms of this YouTube thing, it's all me. So I guess that's partly why I started talking to myself is, okay, here I am taking full responsibility. The algorithm of YouTube has nothing to do with it. The algorithm of any other social media has nothing to do with it. Your interest as an audience member, whether you like it or not, has nothing to do with it. I just need to show up and be consistent and show up and keep getting better. I don't know why. I think it's human nature. I definitely have this problem. It's like, I just want to be better. I want to show you my best work. It's like, how can I show you my best work when I haven't even showed up for work day one? That doesn't make any sense. How can you be the best when you didn't even practice? And I guess the best way to practice is by being there and, fumbling. And You know, I guess I got to a certain point that it's like, who cares about whether an audience member thinks this is kind of a crappy sort of format where, like I'm running off screen to grab a church key to open my beer. But I'm just being me. I'm just getting used to this. Some of my older videos, my Life's a Video Game videos, I would be recording myself over and over again. I'd get so angry because right out there, over there, there's a lot of traffic, and it's like, you hear a honk, and you're like, oh, there's a honk in there, and oh, there's a little noise, and oh, it's just ruining everything. And it's like, I have to live with the flaws. I have to own the flaws, and I realized in my first few videos, I would just be like, oh, there's something happening back there. And now I'm starting to get to the idea or the feeling of like when some noise goes on or somebody like a roommate or my wife is getting up and doing something, I acknowledge that they're doing it and I'm still talking to you. I'm still with you. And my idea is to drop that ego and make myself responsible for the whole thing. Man, that's tough, but man, does it feel good. It kind of brings me back to that whole idea of life's a video game. It's like, what is life's a video game? It's like, I relate everything to games. I relate everything to games because when I play games, I don't judge myself. I just do. I grab this controller, the Switch controller. Well, actually, any controller. It's just the only controller that was within arm's reach. And I fail up. I fail up over and over again. And the funny thing is with games, I don't judge myself. Not really. Sometimes I need to take a break. Sometimes it is exhausting. Sometimes I'm like, this is... But I'm good. And I get through it. I've really struggled with that with my artsy side. Really have for a long while. And I'm kind of sick and tired of that. It's like, yeah, I've blamed it a lot on sort of, oh, I need to have braces. I need to have straight teeth. I need this. Or, if I could only have a steady income or this or that. But it's like, I know a few people who their parents still, I'm 31 and these people are around their 30s. Their parents are still paying for their shit and they're still struggling. So maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, sure, maybe some things can boost you, but maybe you just gotta show up properly. My last video was talking a lot about how I put too much effort into my day job, and I end up burning out. But one thing I've learned with my day job is I show up and I get better at that job. I feel like I show up a bit too much because it's like, oh, it's the job that pays me, so I got to give my full effort. And yes, I need to give enough effort to qualify or for me to justify getting paid, of course. And I should do a little bit more than that, of course. I need to be there for the team. It's like doing too much. No, but when I've started so many jobs, it's like anytime I start a new job, I kind of suck at it. That's one thing. Some people, I think they're bullshitting. They're like, oh no, most things I start, I'm great. I'm like, oh, yeah, you probably have never improved. I can confidently tell you that everything I do for the first time, I suck. It's garbage. I was talking tonight with a very good friend of mine about starting a podcast, and it's probably going to happen. And guess what? It's probably going to suck. The first episode is going to be super awkward, and that's great. And we're going to make another video, and we're going to make another video, and we're going to keep going. And who cares about the audience? Because there'll be somebody who gravitates it if we show up. And that's the thing I need to get through my head. I mean, again and again, I'm going to keep repeating it. That's why I do these videos. It's like I need some self realization. I need some reflection. I need a mirror looking at me, and not one for vanity. And I am a incredibly this beer's got me burpy. I am an incredibly vain individual. Which is fine. It's good to look good. It's good to dress nice, but you got to make sure it's not at a high cost, right? You got to make sure that you're giving your all. And to be honest, I have not been giving my all. So I kind of go back to that guy, that Jocko. His podcast is this extreme ownership. He does this TED talk that's very fascinating, and he talks about how he was doing some mission where everything went haywire and people in the same group ended up shooting each other and somebody ended up dying. It was just a big mess. And then he had to, I don't know how it works, but it's like some kind of, not court, but like he had to explain the situation in public. So it was some kind of military court. I don't know. They were expecting to hear him say, okay, it was because of this situation, that situation. He just went on and said, it is my fault that all this happened. It is 100% me. And his ego, he said, took a big hit. But his team respected him so much. And the people who were looking at him, maybe they were probably going to fire him. Like they were going to dishonorably discharge him. Is that how it's said? I don't know. Basically fire him from the military. They had trust in him. They kept him. And, if you watch his podcast, he's gone on to do great things. It's this need, like you want to protect yourself. Like if something crazy happens, like all these other things happen. But if you just take on that responsibility for yourself, it just seems like you can do so much more. There's times with my day job, my boss will ask me to do something, or he'll blame me for something I think is ridiculous. And there's a part of me that's like, tell him to go fuck off. Just tell him to fuck off. It's ridiculous. But I say, yes, boss. Or I say, you know what, you're right. Thank you. He always kind of, at first, not always. He started to get used to it, but at first he gave me a look like, oh, he's not going to fight back. And it was from that advice. And not every day is perfect. It's still frustrating. But as I've learned to take responsibility, it's gotten easier, and my boss has given me a lot more of his trust, which seems like he has a hard time giving trust. So that's a good place to be, because even though my day job has nothing to do with this, it kind of does, because every skill you learn kind of goes into the next thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, extreme responsibility. You got to apply that somehow. Anyway, I'm going to finish this. This was a nice beer. It was a nice talk. I just feel so motivated. It's like 2:00 in the morning and I'm chatting. But it's time to go. Peace. Have a great one.